Hello trading friends, today is Tuesday 11th of March 2025 and we dive deep into analysis of Bitcoin. Also in this video I will talk about background, what is happening at this moment, and especially we will dive in also in some other markets, in the currency markets, in the stocks markets, for example Nasdaq, S&P 500, Russell, Dow Jones, in gold, in crude oil, in some stocks like Nvidia, MicroStrategy, and of course we will dive in also in cross-currency and last not least DAX 40 and Euro 40 and European indices. In this analysis I will share with you my opinion and market analysis. I hope you have been enjoying the last videos I made already, where I have already mentioned the levels, the insights of the market. All the levels at this moment are valid, so you can also for further information and diving deeper on what is happening, because I'm not repeating everything, maybe going to watch those videos. First of all, thank you for the likes, for new subscribers, and also thank you very much for your trust and your time to watch my videos, and also for the comments. Please don't hesitate to put your comments, to hit the notification bell, to subscribe to this channel, to share it also with other people. And I wish you, of course, not only today but also in the future, a very good foundation, solid foundation of trading, and of course happy trading. The Bitcoin and the market started to bottom and to make a pullback if there was not the very important comment of the US President Trump yesterday, and that is very important. US stocks suffered their worst day of 2025 yesterday on Monday, the 10th of March, prompting investors to warn that further selling was likely ahead and that a bear market for the Nasdaq Composite Index couldn't be ruled out after the Trump administration failed to calm fears about a potential US recession. Well, my opinion is something contrarian. We already have the bear market, and I don't know why those people, especially the people in the White House, are going to hide the truth. I mean, the traders, the investors, they are saying that the market is going down and that the fundamentals are very bad. They don't, not always, but sometimes, try to hide the truth, and this is something very unhonest. This is not something what the US American people have been voting for. I think, in my opinion, if I was the US president, I would clearly, directly call the pain and the problems by the name, exactly like it is, like it will be. Of course, President Trump did it. He said that we will go in quarter by quarter and no pain, no gain, and there will be a lot of pain, and that's all right. But Scott Bessent and the former BlackRock hedge fund, I don't know, in some cases he's of course right and I agree with him, but in many cases I don't agree with that gentleman, because he's going again to make softened comments. No, hold your positions. He's not directly saying that, of course, but he's meaning it, and he's owning, of course, Bitcoin. And I understand that he's also worried about his investments. Maybe anybody should be. But on the same time, he is at a responsible position, in the government position, and that is exactly what he shall maybe do in future, to tell the truth, the naked truth, because that way the stock market will go down, Bitcoin will go down, crypto will go down much more deeper, in my opinion. And I will also give you the evidence why Also in my last videos, I gave you all the evidence. So it is something they cannot change at this moment, for a longer term, of course, but not for a short term. And that's exactly that they need to warn people. Okay, for example, we are now in a risk on market. You have to be careful putting your stops, maybe taking that profit that we already have to sit away, wait for better conditions, for better market data and what's on. So this is very important because the carnage hit the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite minus 4% in just one day, particularly extremely hard, with it falling 727 points to close at 17,468. This is its lowest since September the 11th of 2024. And the percentage drop was the largest since 13th of December 2022. Now, the Nasdaq last week fell into a market correction and defined as a drop of 10% from a recent high, a correction that turned into a bear market with a pullback of 20%. And responsible for that was not only, or have not been only, the tariffs or the policy of President Trump, and of course not last not least his comments, but mainly about the fraud of the scam markets that was generated especially in the tech sector by Nvidia and also by a lot of other fraudy stocks. We have been reporting it in my videos. You can go watch them again. They are all there. We have been warning this was a bull trap, this was a paper trap, and that trap or this card house will fall one day certainly. And these stocks like Nvidia and other fraudy stocks are, in my opinion, the real guilty stocks that are or that have been caused this big crash, and this was something very expected. Investors are kind of struggling with this concept of President Trump's administration really reindustrializing that the US economy, and suspicion was that it was more bluster or talk, and now it seems like they are moving forward with a plan to reindustrialize the US through tariff. So at the beginning of the year, or in December, we had the Trump trade, but very soon at the end of December we have we consider and saw the warning signs that this trade Trump is not going to last any longer. So therefore market participants were more focused on positives of what President Trump had to offer. For example, the regulation or plus favorable tax or fiscal policies, and tariffs were considered as a secondary priority. So we see that major stock indices have notched meaningful losses since mid-February, when the realities of Trump's trade policies began to take root. And S&P 500, the tariff war with China, of course, the DeepSeek, we have to mention, is playing a very, very big role. And last not least, that a lot of companies like MicroStrategy, for example, are based only on the price of Bitcoin. And of course, that's a danger. I mean, if I'm buying a share of the company, I am doing a lot of investigations, I am doing a lot of researches, and when I am convinced of the product that the company is selling or is developing, then maybe then I will try to buy some shares, but of course not with MicroStrategy. Imagine you have a company and your company is based only on US dollar, meaning when the price of the US dollar is going higher, then your share price is increasing. And if the price of US dollar is coming down, you make losses. That's the same exactly with MicroStrategy. And he is, of course, one of big, large traders or large speculators on the Bitcoin market. And that's affecting 30% also of the price of the Bitcoin market, meaning you're putting your cards only on your bets on a card that has very low expectation, a company that has nearly no own capital, a company like MicroStrategy that is built on debts, on borrowing money to make it on Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin is not going higher. If the price of Bitcoin was going higher, okay, we could say, okay, his plan is working, but he's not. So at this moment, he lost already in the last 3 days more than 56% of the value of MicroStrategy. And remember, last time when we had the big crash in Bitcoin, he was suffering 95%, and he's still now at the price of 80. Bitcoin is around 81K at this moment. He is suffering 56% of loss. Now imagine if the market goes below 60 and below 50, how much bigger that would be. And then he will, and he has to sell a lot of Bitcoins that he owns to save the company. Because if he doesn't do, not only the Bitcoins will be confiscated by the US government, because it will build a very bearish roller coaster to the downside, but also all the company's debt and also the debt owners have gone. And of course they do not want to steal and to stay silent to see what he is doing. They all are nervous, believe me. So this is very, very important to make clear that also now JP Morgan and also Goldman Sachs made a research who have been more bullish on US economy, and now they're saying that we are already in recession and that we will face the recession. So you need to keep it in mind. And now let's go to the markets. We begin first with Bitcoin, currently at 81,704. We see that the downtrend of Bitcoin has been already started at 107.20. That is this point where the commercials started to sell Bitcoin massively. Why this matters? Well, commercials are those who govern and who rule the market. It doesn't matter what President Trump is saying. It doesn't matter what Warren Buffett, what Michael Saylor is doing or saying. Commercials are completely an own group. These are the real elites and powers behind the markets. And now if somebody is saying that we will, if the price goes below below 60, then the bear market starts, he is telling big lies, guys. We see here that the market has already been started to make, and we are on daily chart, right? You see here, this is daily time frame. The market has started to make lower highs and low lows. Then we had a period of pullback. This pullback was interpreted for a lot of so-called large speculators. The large speculators based on COT or COT report are, for example, hedge funds, asset managers, people like Michael Saylor, Warren Buffett, all those people who are telling you and scamming you with buy. These are And there are rich people, they have very strong network, but they get always trapped. Also, Warren Buffett is getting trapped by the commercials. Why? Because the commercials have a lot of much more information than people, for example, like Warren Buffett does. So my approach, I have two kinds of approach of trading. The first one is, if the large speculators are buying the market, I sell, but not immediately. I wait for a sell signal and then sell the market. And that's the case where I always sell the market at the top. And let's say, for example, here is the bottom. If at these prices, then the large speculators sell the market, and this is time for me to buy the market. And you see how very nicely this strategy is working. At this level, people like Michael Saylor started to buy Bitcoin, and that was exactly a very sure 99% sign for me. That's very nice. We will soon go deep, very, very deep. And you see exactly this has happened. And I was waiting, and at this level, then I got, based on my trading system, then the very solid sell signal, and that is working. And after this question now, we see here that the market is has already yesterday reached again for the second time in the last 7 days 76k. This is very important level. Why? Because we had been filling already this gap level, and we see now, and now this gap level is and then after we have broken the market below and filled the gap, the market went up already to this support area at around 96,000. And then the very important, because commercials knew it already, and this is also very important that you shall know, sometimes also the commercials, if they are selling the market, they take some profit, they initiate also some buying orders that to push the market higher, to sell the market much more massively. All right, this is very important for you to know. Meaning, if the market is going higher, it's not only the large speculators or people like Michael Saylor. This could be also the commercials. We never find them. We never know if they are really the commercials. The only thing what we can find out, see every Friday afternoon, Friday morning, 8:30, the new court report, and then we know, okay, during the last 7 days, the commercials have cut or have added much more to their positions, or maybe they have reserved for a reverse, for example, they're selling or they're buying positions. Also very important is that we are facing now to the next level, 70 to 72. This is very important. Why? Because here at around 60 we have the next gap. If the market starts a new trend, and we see the market has started a new trend, right? So from the bear market, bull market, you see, bull market, and then buy market, then they if the trend has been started, what does the market do? Technically, the market hunts the gaps, all the gaps they did on the road, for example, up. We have, for example, also a gap here at around 64 to 66. We have also another gap here at around 61 to 63. And you see here, especially here, we have three very important gaps that overlap each other. Now, the problem is what will happen here. Of course, at this area, we will have some reactions, but don't get trapped here because we are in a very big bear market. So the market will make maybe some pullbacks, some corrections to the last prior or post prior gap, and then because this is and this at this level, then the sellers, the big commercials will of course massively sell again the Bitcoin. Why? Because at this moment Bitcoin has no value. What is the real value of Bitcoin? Nothing. They said that Bitcoin will be the new anti-inflation asset. It will be a hedge asset. It will be a safe haven. Nothing happens. When bad news coming out, the first what moves down is Bitcoin, and that makes Bitcoin now degraded now or declassed to the very high speculative asset. And anyone who is saying at this moment buy, we go to 500 millions, you know exactly these people are scams. They are paid by all those companies, by people like Saylor. I'm not saying, I say like Michael Saylor, but there are also other scammers, crypto billionaires who don't want to lose their Bitcoin, so they pay, for example, influencers, market manipulators on YouTube who will trap you. Never believe them. They are all dangerous, because if you believe them only 1 second, you will lose your money. All right. We see now that especially here at this area, we have a very thin volume. This is the price of 49,450. So we zoom the chart so you look it better, right? So this is the low value area, and this is the current price of Bitcoin. And now look here, when the market gets here, right? When the market gets to this level, look, here was a very hot fight zone between bears and the bulls in the past, right? And if we want to take it as a very big zone, then we see that once Bitcoin is there, what is Bitcoin doing next? Bitcoin is going for this gap here, right? And this gap is at around 48K. And once the bears have filled it, this is the next gap. And this gap is at around 36K, right? So you see here, this is the first target of this year. And once they are there, they are going also for the next gap. So 36,000. The next gap is here at 28K. And then the next gap is here, guys. All right. And I know now you are suffering a lot. This gap is at 8,000. At 8,625, right? So 8,625. This is the midterm target for Bitcoin. Now, why are they doing it? I believe that the government of President Trump wants this exactly. Why? First of all, they know exactly that they are faced with a lot of criticism and people are getting loud and whatever. And he said also yesterday, I think, that somebody was quoting him that he said, shut up about the high egg prices. So, meaning he wants, of course, the strategic currency reserve, but he wants it to build the strategic reserve or the cryptocurrency reserve. A lot of people say, Bitcoin strategic reserve. That's wrong. He never said it. He said cryptocurrency reserve, right? That means that's a basket of XRP, Solana, Tron, of course his own coins, and also Bitcoin is a part of that. Whatever. So we are not going to argue about the names. Let's say Bitcoin strategic, right? And he's exactly thinking, and his logic is like mine. Why should I pay $1 billion for something that has a price of 100,000? I will first dump down this market to 8,000, and still there it is very, very expensive to me. I will dump this price to extremely low, to 1, 2, or 10. Right? Imagine Bitcoin going down next to 500, and then after then Bitcoin will go to 10. And this is all possible, guys. But even it can go to 1, right? And in trading, everything is possible now. People who say it is not possible and you are telling guys, those people are Bitcoin evangelists. Yes, Bitcoin evangelists. Bitcoin evangelists are those who attack like communists, people who have contrarian opinions. Go watch my video of yesterday. I yesterday did a video, Bitcoin communism, crypto communism, and I told you all the similarities between the communism systems, totalitarian dictatorship systems, and Bitcoins. And in 99%, they all are the similar, right? They are making seminars. They learn, for example, how to react to the people, to attack the people if they have another opinion about Bitcoin. Interestingly, the other cryptocurrencies do not have such communities. In Ethereum some way, but it is not so radical, right? So these Bitcoin evangelists are very radical people. So you don't need to be careful. If you want to be careful, just ignore what they are saying, do exactly the opposite, all right? They never tell you to sell, they always tell you to buy, so it is very easy, right? And if they are going to attack you, what will you do? Defend yourself, right? Attack them again, right? And that's exactly what they are scared of. So if I would be Donald Trump, I would dump this market to this price, $1, and then I will buy massively $1 trillion for $1 trillion Bitcoin, of course. Now the argument is of some people is, but if the price goes there, also the other countries start to buy. Yes, exactly, they do. And they still are doing it. Imagine what? Who is possessing more than 60% of the Bitcoins? The answer is very easy. This is China. China has a lot of Bitcoin miners, and already the Chinese government is mining a lot of Bitcoins. Russia is doing that. Other countries are doing it. So, first of all, to stop them, because the higher the price will go, you are making also the other countries richer, right? So there is only one possible way. Dump down this market to $1, and what happens then? Start to buy massively. President Trump is saying himself that the United States have unlimited amounts of money. That means more dollars than the other countries, and that is exactly the advantage what he is going to do. Now, is Bitcoin going to this price or this price? Well, I don't know. Possible it is, right? But I'm not certain if we reach one of these prices. But what I know, and I am sure that sooner or later we will go towards this level. Maybe not at around 8,000, maybe at the price of 15,000, or maybe he starts then at around 25,000 then to buy back the Bitcoin. People who are maybe giving him some advices now, buy now, buy now, buy now. These people, maybe if I would President Trump, I would just fire them and get them out of the White House. Why? Because these people are scared of their own money. Now, fundamentally, and we are still received 28 minutes, we are still with Bitcoin. A lot of people say, yes, we are, but we are on daily time frame. We are, the market is overbought, and we have a divergence. No, that's not true. The market is in overbought zone, but what they miss to see is the market has entered, right? The market has entered already this zone. That means we have just entered the overbought zone. It does not mean you have to leave, to buy the market immediately. Why? Because if you are familiar with RSI, if the market in a trend is entering and overbought or oversold in an uptrend, it means that now the bearish momentum is getting much more stronger, right? We see, for example, here we had the downtrend. The market was entering this zone, right? This is the overbought zone, right? So 0 to 22. Now a lot of people started to buy the market. What did the market do? The market fell very deeper, and that means that at this point the market got much more stronger. When should you buy Bitcoin? If you are trading the RSI, you must wait until the market leaves this overbought zone again. When, for example, here or here or here, you should buy, right? If you buy here, you get trapped by a lot of commercials, right? So, and also the other side is true. If you are in an uptrend, right? And you see the RSI is leaving the oversold zone. Here you must sell the Bitcoin, right? For example, here, right? A lot of people want here. That's bump. Guys, you should trade very carefully, especially at those levels, right? So ignore all those scams and just focus on the strategy. RSI is a very good indicator, around above 70-75% win rate, right? This is an old indicator that's still working very nice. Of course, a lagging indicator, but it is a solid, fundamentally solid indicator. I can recommend it because you see I'm working also with RSI, right? So we see that the RSI is in overbought zone. We see that the statistic is still bearish. We see MACD is still bearish. We see that still that the CCI is still bearish, and we see here something very important. Here we see that the commercials and on the other side we see that the large speculators here, they have started to buy. People like Michael Saylor, like experienced traders, hedge funds, asset managers. Why do they buy? Because they want to compensate all the losses they have made, right? If, for example, taking some profits, that generating then new buy orders, then if they have been wrong and buying at around over 90,000, 100,000, like a lot of people did, a lot of people. That's very incredible how many people get dumped by all those scams. And maybe they need to visit my trading room classes, right? And we see here, then it was exactly the point, and this is exactly the point of 107. The market seller started to buy. Also yesterday he said that he is buying again, and look what fantastic this indicator works. Every time they buy, the large speculators buy, I sell immediately the market, right? And every time they sell the market, I buy immediately the market. In the between, they have been selling their positions, but they did not make profits. Also, the market is bearish. Why? Because they have liquidated the positions they have been buying at above 100,000. So they started to sell the market and to take losses, to immediately taking losses, and also to got stopped out by the stop limit below 90,000, and that was the reason that the market generated much more buy orders. That was also the reason that the market had this pullback to 90,000, and then at that moment the commercials started to push down the market again. All right, so this is for Bitcoin analysis, and this is the reversed diagram. We see how the deeper the market falls, we see here, now the big speculators started to add more to the long positions. What does the market do? The more they buy, the deeper the market falls. Why? Because the commercials are selling also on the same time the market. Now you see how the market and the price action really works, right? So this is the reverse indicator. This is the bull zone above the zero, and this is the bear zone. And we see now the more they buy the market, people like Michael Saylor, people like Warren Buffett, of course they are making billions, but this investment strategy of Warren Buffett is something different than Michael Saylor, and we see now he's regretting that he didn't sell Bitcoin, right? So, and Warren Buffett is now looking at the stock market to buy. And damn, I need to say, sorry, Mr. Buffett, but you are wrong. You are a large speculator, you are wrong, right? And that's exactly what the market does. These are facts since 50, 60, 70 years. This is working, and nobody is going to change that, can change it. Also, a good president like Donald Trump is not going and is not able to change it. Why? Because the power of the trend will trample everyone who is against the trend. So guys, now with me, let's have a look at gold. And we see now in gold, fundamentally, what are the speculators doing? The speculators are selling gold, but commercials are also selling gold. Currently, the trend is bullish on gold, as we can see here, but we see also here the first signs on daily time frame. The RSI still in a range. We wait now until the RSI is leaving the zone, and then we have another confirmation. We see that the MACD, the CCI are already in bearish mode, but the stochastic and CCI are in a bearish mode, but MACD is still in a bullish mode. So the better, but on the same time we see also the COT index is also still bullish. So we need to wait a little bit. We see also the market structure. Gold was not able to get off to reach the above 3,000. Then the market made new high, but also new low, and then the market made a lower high, right? So now if we want to compare this, what can we see here? Yeah, that's exactly a broadening pattern. And in my last videos, I told you, I explained you carefully and very complete what a broadening pattern is, and where not every broadening pattern, but where broadening pattern have 100% of impactful workflow. And that means broadening pattern at the highest highs, all-time highs or all-time lows, mean that we are going for a trend shift. So fundamentally, the commercials are selling gold. That means that they have been already turning or stopping the market getting higher, right? So the commercials are selling gold. This is, first of all, a very important confirmation. Then market structure, we see that the market has made low, right? Low, but on the same time higher high, a broadening pattern, right? So a broadening pattern at where all-time high, right? Meaning now that the market is going for a trend shift. Then the market is not making any more higher highs, because in a trend, right, that's the definition of classical trend, that the market is making higher lows and higher highs, right? The market is not doing that, so it's failed, right? So the market structure failed, right? And the next confirmation is, now where is the market coming to? Well, we see here, this is a FIBO channel I made myself. This FIBO channel is already connected to the COT commercials, right? Meaning that at this level, possibly we will have a bounce of around 2,860. The market will go running higher. As long as the commercials are selling the market, what do? We don't do anything, because this is a market where this is a phase of the market where especially these phases of the market, we had it, for example, here, also on lower time frame, a lot of people get trapped. That means the market starts to go high and then falls suddenly very deep, right? And then comes down, right? And then suddenly gets up. And that's causing a lot of volatility. So fundamentally, commercials are short. They are selling. That's good. Meaning we wait now very silent for a sell situation, a very good solid sell situation on daily or weekly time frame, right? It can be, for example, it can be, for example, here. It can be, for example, here. It can be also here. It can also be again here, right? Near of all-time high, the better. Why? Because imagine, if you are taking a trade, right, where do you logically put your stops? Of course, you put your stops here if you are short, right? Because you expect if the market is going up, the market wants then to continue this trend to go higher, right? Therefore, we exactly wait until the price comes near of our stop, and then also all other indicators and also fundamentals are d'accord. And at this moment, we see we have mixed news of gold. Also fundamentally, we have mixed news of gold, right? On one side, for example, we have signs of recession. This is good for all for gold. But on the same time, we have, for example, the recession means that people don't have enough money to buy gold, and this is not good for gold. Not only the commercials, and also the commercials for a reason, right? Because the commercials know exactly, maybe on shorter term, right, the commercials are selling the market, right? Let's say, for example, the commercials started to sell the market. So yeah, but look, gold went higher. Yes, this is for short term. But in longer term, and that matters, commercials, midterm and longer term commercials are always, I repeat again, always right. Why? Because they have information you and me, we don't gather, right? This is the reason. For those who are trading, for example, also with trend lines, for example, right? So we see here, right? We know that the commercials are already short, and we just wait for the market to come down to make a pullback. We sell the market, and the market then starts to continue the downtrend. Then the first target will be at around, if this happens, and if in between the commercials do not start to buy gold. This setup for gold, selling gold, is only valid unless, as long as the commercials shorting gold, right? But if they suddenly start and begin to buy gold, what happens then? It means that our short setup is not valid anymore. Instead, we wait then for a buy signal, and then we start to buy gold here. Why? Because then the commercials start to buy gold. Therefore, always keep everyday attention on the commercials. If it does not happen, we come then to this price. It will be then at around 2,125, right? This is then the first target of gold, right? As long as the commercials are selling gold, of course. So we go to Nasdaq, and we see in Nasdaq, what we can see, we have a clear downtrend. So the sell signal where the commercials started to sell Nasdaq was at 22,125, and that's exactly what we did. Very interesting also in Nasdaq, also in the past, we see that we have a lot of broadening patterns, right? We had, for example, here near of all-time highs, right? And that was a clear sign, all right? The market doesn't want to go also higher, but at that moment, the commercials were buying Nasdaq, so we have been very patiently waiting for commercials to sell Nasdaq, and then that was the time as we started to enter the market. We want to see if this confirmation still is there, and we can see yes, exactly, right? The first one, the very important, are the commercials, right? This one here, we see that they are selling massively, right? I make it, zoom it in again, and we see here, yeah, clearly they have been adding up the positions already a lot of time. Here in between they are buying, right, because of some reasons we don't know, but it doesn't need to be interesting for us. We just look at the market, what the market is doing, and if they are aligned with the fundamentals. Sometimes the fundamentals published by the news are not aligned with the system. It doesn't care us, right? What cares us is only what do the commercials do, and the commercials are selling the market. That's the only confirmation we need, right? So we look next, what are the large traders doing, and we see here, yeah, large traders is buying exactly the opposite. Why? Because they are wrong 90%. We look then at the reversed COT, and we see here something very interesting regarding gold. Number one is that the large speculators started to reduce their bullish positions, their bearish positions, right? Bullish position, I'm sorry, right? But at the same time, they started to add up on their bearish positions. The commercials did the same, but we see also now the large speculators, right? The net, this is the difference of buying and selling. The net positions, what they have is reducing. Why? Because they have been suffering some losses, right? So that means fundamentally we are on the right side. And we see here the RSI turned already in the overbought zone. But what did I say? It means that much more bearish pressure is coming. It's not yet to buy gold, right? Instead, it means, and we can interpret it, that the market is going to shift much more lower, right? So we see that our stochastic is already bearish, right? At this price, at 22,125, the stochastic started to give us very serious warning signs. We see that the MACD is turning very bearish. We see that the CCI, right, is very bearish now, a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. And we see here that the COT index is also very bearish, very strong bearish, static bearish, and staying, is not leaving this zone, right? And this is a very strong sign that we will go also deeper, right? So meaning that we will have, of course, here and there some pullbacks. For example, we are expecting this Friday the inflation data. The market is waiting for that, right? And maybe here and there we will have some pullbacks to 60% Fibonacci. And even if the market going then to around 5 to 10%, that will be perfect. We will wait how the market is reacting and then aligns again with all indicators. Then if the market is giving us another bearish signal, of course it is perfect time then to sell the Nasdaq, right? Where is it going? So you see the market guide you already, right? So we had it first here. That means we will go first of all to around 18,400. The next level will be at around 18,000, and if breaking that level we go down to around 15,600. Not enough there, I'm afraid. If we are there already, and because that the recession signs are becoming more and more, right, and also more and more intense, maybe possibly we can go also below 12,000, 11,000, possibly to around 10,000. I don't hope that it goes to below 10,000, because from there the market will fall down to 6,000, guys. We had this situation in 2020 already, right? Do not forget it, right? And in between, the market then will be looking for any sign to buy the market, especially also the Nasdaq Composite, and also the stock market, the exchange itself will start to buy Nasdaq, to rebuy Nasdaq, because they have to save this composite index. So that means we will have then short squeeze also to that level again before the market runs back, right? But we will have very volatile highs like we have seen this already in 2020. Do not forget that. Go in the chart again, look what happened in 2020, analyze especially that section, and this is then what will happen also here. As long, as I said again, as long as commercials are selling Nasdaq. This picture will change only if the commercials start to buy Nasdaq again, all right? As long as they are selling Nasdaq, we will have this scenario and also this prediction about the market. And last but not least, we are going to FDAX 40, and we see here, well, maybe you can see it also yourself. First of all, we see that the trend lines, the short term, the mid terms have been broken. We are on daily charts, guys. So these are also on the same time resistances. We see that the market does exactly at the all-time high, the broadening patterns, right? The trend at this moment still is bullish, right? So once we break this level of around 20,000, right? So can't tell you the exact price. Once we come below 22,132, it's becoming really serious. We see the market made a volatile low, then a high, then new high, new low, right? And then again new high, new low, right? So a broadening pattern is building here is very important, right? The market is coming back to 61.8 Fibonacci first, right? There we expect a bounce, okay? And but the market has already broken very important short-term trend line. The market has already failed the broader breakout of the support, could not or was not able to remain and stabilize it close, so fell back again to this area. So the first target of DAX would be at around 19,200. If it's going deeper, then we're coming to 18,200, and then at this level, then latestly DAX wants to go again to around 70,000, right? 17,000 is a very critical area, because especially below this level are a lot of gaps that are drawing the price back, especially to 14,800. Why 14,800 is extremely very important price? Because the 15,600 and 15,000 needed many months, right? 23 months to break that level, so it's acting as a very strong support. But this time, if the market, I say again, when the market is going to start a trend and the momentum along and aligned with the trend is increasing, if you are, for example, bullish and the bullish momentum is increasing, or if you are bearish, the bearish momentum is increasing, what will happen then? The market hunts one after each other every possible gap what it has put along, right, in the past. So that means we will have this scenario, we will have a very volatile scenario here then, and then the market starts then to hunt then to 15,600, and once they're breaking below 15,600, automatically it will break also below 15,000, and that will lead then again to around 8,000 to 10,000. It's not a good scenario. At this moment, a lot of American investors also putting money in a lot of German stocks and European stocks at all. That's also driving or is responsible, but the hype will be end, right? This bluff or this blob will be finished one day, like it is happening also to Nasdaq. The second reason is that Nasdaq, that the FDAX is following the American stocks, right? And now I will show you something very interesting. This is Euro 50 or EU 50. This is the little brother of FDAX, and it reacts like Russell 2000. Russell 2000 is the little brother of S&P 500 and Nasdaq and Dow Jones. And what Russell does is incredibly amazing. Russell moves faster and first if a trend will change. So EU 50 does. And we see here now, while we have some kinds of neutral bullish signs in DAX still, right? In Euro 50, we have already at 5,520 the bearish sign. You see that here? They all are bearish, right? You see? That means sooner or later FDAX will follow. And then we look at the fundamentals. And at the fundamentals, we have a very interesting scenario. They are hesitating to go. The commercials are long. That means we have to stay long. But the speculators are also long. They are false. So we need to stay what? Short. But now, if the market commercials are long and everybody else are these large speculators also long, means everybody is long And guys, there is an expression. If everybody buys the market, that means 100%, right? You have 8 billion people around the globe, and 8 billion people buy this market. What will happen then? Then the market falls, right? Right? This is the first rule. If everybody buys the market, everybody, 100% of participants are bullish, the market falls. If everybody is selling the market, that means 100% of traders, investors, private person, governments, everybody is selling a market. Everybody. What happens then? Then the market rises, and this is exactly what is happening here. The commercials are long speculators are long, right? Bullish. And we have the first bullish signs, right? In these markets are trillions of dollars, right? Still, it's the little brother of the market, right? And we look at the DAX, and with the DAX exactly the same, right? So, large speculators buying the market, commercials buying the market, right? But instead the market is making new higher highs and new record highs. What is doing now? The first bearish signs are coming, right? We see that we have at this moment a bullish momentum is still strong, so we need to wait until this bullish momentum is leaving that area. And also we see that the COT index, right, is also bearish, right? This is the second sign that we should be very, very careful now with DAX. Be very careful with sells, that means going short, but also be very careful with going long. In this market, I am out of the market. In DAX, I have no position. I have taken every position out. In Euro 50, I started to short, but carefully. And we wait until one of these, right? One of these needs to change their position, right? If the long speculators, for example, get short, then we will get up, right? If they stay long, right? If they stay long, but the commercials go short, then we will going down, right? But if this scenario is happening, you get trapped upside and downside, on bearish and bullish side. Why? Because if everybody buying the market will reverse soon, and the market will fall very deep. That will destroy you. It will happen very quickly. So we need to be very, very careful with that, right? So last not least, we will take a look also on Dow Jones 30. And we see in Dow Jones 30, one picture is saying more than 1,000 words. We have broken very important FIBO levels, right? So this was the last man standing, and it has been broken already, but the commercial started, right? Here the commercials are bearish, guys, right? So where did they started to sell? They started to sell the market here, you see, as a lot of speculators started to buy the market here, right? The commercials started to sell, right? They started to sell. On the short term, it seemed that they are wrong, right? But on the long term, the commercials are what? They are always wrong, right? And then we see also that here, the bearish momentum, exactly, you see here, exactly at the top, right? As other people have been bullish, the momentum fell suddenly into the so-called overbought area. But a lot of people have been misunderstanding this. It meant that the market is going to be bearish, right? Then we see that stochastic, MACD, CCI, all these indicators are bearish, right? And last not least, we see also now the long-term volume is going to be what? Bearish, right? So that means in Dow Jones, Dow Jones US 30 is going to fall much more deeper. The first target will be at around 35,000 to 39,000, and then we will see what will happen then. Also, keep care on the data. There are a lot of rumors. And guys, I need to tell you something. I did not believe that, especially this year, it seemed to me after so many years that trend following will not work this year. And I am very amazed how good, how much better than I expected trend following started to work also, especially in this year, guys. So if you are day traders, be very careful. If you are trend followers, well, congratulations, stay with your strategy, trend following, follow just the trends, guys, on higher time frames. Also, if the trend is aligning with fundamental indicators, then you have always the best cards because the price doesn't lie. We look at our Japanese people and we find them, Japanese, the Nikkei or Japan 225 index following very nicely. The commercial started to sell the market here. Interestingly, the near of the highs started to sell the Nikkei index. The speculators are buying, so they are wrong. We do the opposite. Commercials sell the market. They are always wrong, so we do exactly what the commercials do, and we wait for our trend signal. The momentum is bearish, right? Stochastic, MACD, and also CCI, and also volume are very bearish. That's fantastic, right? So we continue with the downtrend. So we go to Ethereum, and we see the at around 4,000 the sell signal at the high of the last 12 months high. The sell signal was generated, right? And if we go down here the commercials were long, so we've been waiting a little bit, and then at a price of 3,900 at 3,500 to 3,750, finally the commercials started to sell Ethereum, and it was in when was it? It was since 16th of December 2024, the commercials started to sell massively Ethereum, right? You see this is at this price, and you see how well the market, right? Here, for example, then this pullback was generated by the long speculators, but it did not last any more longer, because every time they got to the prior sell price of the commercials, the big commercials started to immediately sell the market, right? We see here they started to go to the 50% Fibonacci. What did the commercials do? They sold Ethereum again, right? So, and this is now the current. A lot of people are telling, when the price is coming to the low of the Fibonacci channel, guys, be very, very careful, right? They say, for example, last time it came to the downside level, right, of the Fibonacci channel, then it bottomed. No, it's wrong, right? For example, we see here the market, yes, bottomed here, but why? Why did the market bottom here? Because the commercials were buying the market on the same time too. But this time, the market has already broken the bottom, the 0% or the 100% if you calculate it otherwise, and the commercials are selling the market and large speculators are buying the market. You need, if you are making technical analysis, you need also to keep care and to focus also on the circumstances. Of course, the situation is similar. That's the same price as 2 years or 3 years ago. Exactly. But the circumstances are different, guys. At that time, 2 years ago, the commercials started to buy Ethereum. But now at this price, the commercials are selling much more Ethereum, right? So, and we see also the COT index is bearish, so Ethereum definitely short, extreme bearish, like Bitcoin. So we have today a neutral point now at Solana, but let's focus first of all and start Solana. We see commercials are selling. What does it mean, guys? That means we have to be short, right? The trend has been starting at 240 near all-time high, right? Solana started to fall, guys. You see here? The markets guide you. That's so simple, guys. Then here we had a hype to buy back, and look at this bar. What happened? So what I mean is this one. So the high buy Solana, right? So the market went up and the market fell very rapidly. The commercial sold the market, then it went up again and it's going down, right? So where does it come back again? If we use, for example, at this level now, a Fibonacci level, right? So we expect that it will come, for example, to 138. So to 138. Here we will have then a possibility to sell. If the market passes through going to 0.50, it will be at around 140. But what I found out, especially this year, the market tends to go to zero, between 0 to this zone, between 0 to 10, right? It makes very deep pullbacks, right? So therefore I'm waiting then the market either to get off here, and then after confirmation I'll look again at the COT report that will release at that week. Commercials still short, no problem, short the market, right? This is then the scenario. Even if we are looking now, and now some will say, all right, but what will happen if Solana will break above it, right? So then it will be a buy signal, of course. Based on some market theories, it will be, but it doesn't need to be necessary. Why? Because the Fibonacci level we have been watching, it is only around this very little time frame, right? But what if we start the Fibo level from here, guys? Then where the downtrend started, right? And you see we have exactly here at the top of here at around 180 it will be. If it goes back to around 200, right? Even if it goes back to around 260, and to get back to this area, right? So this will be also potentially possible, right? That the market gets back to 240 to 260. It will be possible. Everything is possible. Number one, if long speculators start to sell the market, that means commercials are short, long speculators are short. Number two, we must have very strong, extremely strong, positive news, events, news catalysts that boost up the crypto. Only if that happens, then the market can go there. And then if the market also starts, the commercials start to buy the market, then we have definitely then solid foundation that then Solana will go to 500 or even to 600, right? So 500 to 800 will be possible, but only if this happens. Positive news, positive catalyst, very good economic data. These are not the case. I'm sorry for you, but this is the truth, right? Commercials must start to buy the market, and long speculators must start to sell the market, go the other way. If it happens, then Solana will also go up. So you see, in both directions, we are always prepared with the COT, with the commercials, because they are always right? There is no one who is so right of the market movements like the commercials, because they lead. You can say they manipulate. I don't say manipulate, one manipulation, because among them are a lot of producers, a lot of who are hedging themselves, right? And they know exactly what will happen, and if the market going against them, so they go into the future markets, CFD markets, and so on, and take the other position to compensate the possible, right, midterm losses they have, and they gain it, they capitalize it in the futures market. So that's exactly here happening, right? So, but we see at this moment it's not happening. The news are not convincing. The news are very bad. The last chance was the crypto summit 2025, where everybody was hoping, but President Trump, also in my last video I told, and I showed you also the evidence exactly what he said. President Trump was showing you or saying exactly these words. I am going to quote, and the words were, President Trump said, you see here Michael Saylor as reaction, President Trump said, never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they say. I don't know if they are right or not. And that was, I don't know who the hell knows. And that's exactly why Michael Saylor touched his head. Oh God, no, he said it. Now everything is going down, and we saw what happened. The market started to fall and is falling, right? So guys, I hope you have been enjoying this video like my other videos. Again, subscribe to my channel, share my channel, hit the notification bell. Thank you very much for your time that you have been spending until now to the finish of this video. I admire you a lot, and I wish you, of course, having a very good trading period. Please be cautious, put always stops, be very careful with every news you hear, focus on your trading system, focus on what the market is telling you and not to what people say in the chat, in YouTube videos, all the scam phrases and so on. Among them, of course, good people. I don't say everyone, no. Among them, there are also good guys, men and women, who are making really good job and also warning you from losing your money. But I'm sorry to say that the number of scammers and Ponzi's is much more bigger, right? So in Discord, for example, there are a lot of groups, crypto groups. They ask you if you want to enter those space rooms, that's the name. You need to verify with your phone number, because they are going to spam you with a lot of news. Yeah, now tomorrow President Trump will say this and did that, and tomorrow Michael Saylor will doing it. Maybe they know that Michael Saylor will doing it, or other people, but they never know what President Trump will do next. That's the reason that President Trump is a very strong president. Imagine if everybody knew what is next move of President Trump, what would happen? Imagine it. Everybody would govern and rule the United States, and everybody will notice that President Trump will be or is and would be a weak president. But the reality is President Trump is everything than they say, the opposite. He is a very strong businessman. He is a very smart president. He is a very smart man. And only his closest circle of the government knows what will happen next, and they are extremely loyal to him, what I admire, appreciate a lot. And therefore, be very careful with those scam and Ponzi groups, especially if you are a new trader. Please be very cautious, right? Yeah, email me. Put comments here if you need some solutions, some help. I help you, right? There are also a lot of people who help, but it's better that you comment me because my experiences are better, right? Okay. So I wish you having a very good day. All right. Be healthy, stay healthy, you and your families, and of course your friends, and of course yourself. All right. Have a good time, guys.